All right. Hey, I'm not 100% sure. There, I just did it again. Yeah, I got to get back and doing the live streams. I just was saying, hey, I'm not sure how this volume is going to sound. Well, it will sound better if you unmute your microphone. Hey, everybody. Welcome, Centerline Systems. Whomever you are, wherever you are in this big blue marble of a planet we call Earth. I got to be careful here. Mark, Centerline Systems. Hey, if somebody is watching, I know I've already got Gene and Snowshoe. Somebody just give me a comment if my mic sounds good. I've moved it to a different location. I'm trying out a new mic. I didn't want the boom mic in my face, and this other mic is a nice mic, but I also don't want that right here in my face either. So I got it off to the side. So if somebody just wants to let me know, sound check, if I'm sounding good, I would appreciate it. As we do a little bit of housekeeping here. As I'm waiting to hear about that. All right, Gene from across the pond is saying, yep, all right, sounds all good. All right, well, then I'm going to leave that mic there for the future going forward because I like that position there better, and it gives me room to do some maneuvering. Hey, so I'm going to start off. John has a long mustache. John has a long mustache. The chair is against the wall. The chair is against the wall. That might sound like I'm just having some fun, and I am having a little bit of fun, but stay tuned. I'm going to actually do some of that stuff for real, in earnest, over on Millstone or maybe even over here going forward in the future, because John does have a long mustache. Hey, all right, just as always, doing a little housekeeping just before we get things going. I just want to say thanks to everybody reaching out. Well, here, actually, let me just do this real quickly. This is going to be another down and dirty, probably a 30-minute live stream. You know, not to, this isn't a woe is me. You know, everybody says, oh, no, I'm very lucky. I was able to get into the hospital, get a surgery done. That I'm just very lucky. And I'll talk about that when I get, yeah, I'll just talk about that again in the future. I'm not sure if we'll throw that in with one of our VA conversations. We probably will. So maybe I'll do that when I get Chappie and Tom back on. And that's going to happen in early, that'll probably be around the 10th or the 17th of October. I'll have those guys back on and I'll give you more details. But so no, you know, don't cry for me, Argentina. I'm not looking for that. I'm very happy, very glad. But anyway, still recovering. I've had people say, you shouldn't even be doing this live stream. I'm like, you know, the world doesn't stop, you know, because, you know, I'm crippled or injured or whatever. So, you know, you just got to keep throwing punches. So we're going to do a short one. I'm going to show off some things. You know, we're continuing to move forward. I had not a huge breakthrough, but a pretty good breakthrough on the hoodies today. I'll give you an update on that. I tried to reach out to Clint from Nemesis. I talked to him earlier today. We're having a little bit of an issue on the hats. So stay tuned on that. But it looks like we'll have, and I'll show you a couple of the different designs that we're thinking for the hoodies. Not just one design. We're probably going to do 3 different designs because we found an American company. So it's an American-made hoodie. Yeah, I'm getting ahead of myself. That's not housekeeping. I'll talk about that in a second. Yeah, I do have to show just the comments as always, as we kill a little time. Gene loves the hoodie. No, he's talking about the hoodie you see in the thumbnail, and that is actually the design that Blackbeard, a.k.a. Steven. If you ever watched Mission Critical or the old Mission Critical, excuse me, or Millstone, Steven is a great guy. He's been on as a guest many times before, and I'm going to be talking. He might actually join us here tonight. We'll see if he can. Because there's some other things that we'll talk about kind of having to do with the way forward. So this is a little bit of a way forward exercise or episode, but I wanted to call it, Are We There Yet? Because I'm getting a lot of like, you know, are we there yet? Are we there yet? We're almost there. Trust me. I wish we were there, but that's what we're going to cover tonight. Gene loves the look of the hoodie, as I was saying from the thumbnail. And then it goes, that looks like our Obama looking through the window of a store he wants to close down. That is very, very well said there, Gene. Very well said, sir. Then we got Snowshoe checking in, and then Gene just saying that the mic is sounding all good. So, but if somebody is having an issue with the mic, because I had a comment on one of the videos saying that the mic was super loud, and I watched the video. I'm like, I don't know, it didn't seem really loud to me. So, but that stuff matters to me. So, you know, if you think something's not going right, and this new mic, I mean, I can see as I'm talking out of the corner of my eye, I can see my levels, so it should be good. All right, let me get a little. It's so parching. It's so parching. But I'm going to give you some updates. I'm going to present some stuff. Well, here, first and foremost, and you know who you are, Cookie Monster. Somebody sent me insomnia cookies as like a get well thing from, you know, the hospital. Cookie Monster, you're trying to kill me? Like, man, I got to watch my glucose levels and all this stuff. I just came through a major operation. But that's a very kind gesture, Cookie Monster. I'm sure these things will freeze very well too. So thank you. You guys are, there was absolutely no reason to do any of that stuff. All right, just a couple other things as before I start talking about the hoodies that we have. They've happened now. And so just, I know it sounds stupid, but the stickers are in. So I'm not 100% sure how I'm going to do this. And these things aren't cheap. They're not super expensive. I don't know if I'm going to throw them out with every order that goes out. I might make a smaller one and throw that out with every order. And then these are for sale or they're for orders over a certain dollar amount. Not sure, but these came out really cool. I like them. Oops, there we go. And that logo right there, that's a logo that Steven, a.k.a. Blackbeard, helped me design. And he's the guy helping me with the hoodies right now. There, that would actually be a good live stream if I just had that in my face for the whole rest of the night. Oh, I got to make a quick note. Sorry, just 1 second. My production staff took the day off, so I've got to do it all myself. Yeah. Okay. And okay, there you go. Sorry, guys. I should have had that done ahead of time. Then, you know, I'm not a huge fan of packaging, but I know there's a lot of packaging. I'm going to look into this version I'm going to show you in the future where it was a snap top, because then you could reuse it. I don't like putting stuff in packaging that you're just going to rip open. I don't add that into my cost of goods. I never will. It's just because it's packaging. And, you know, and I'm not going to be the guy who's going to do packaging and then charge you an extra $15 just so you have like some vacuum sealed packaging that looks really cool, but you've got to get a goddamn jackhammer out to, you know, to open it up. But this is our new packaging going forward. And like I said, I think I'm going to work with this company. And instead of having a sealable top, I'd love it if these were like little snaps. And I'm sure you've seen those type of plastic bags. And then that could snap. And then you could just keep using it for whatever, you know, turn it into a toiletries bag, turn it into, you know, your pens, you know, and all that kind of stuff, you know, anyway, it's a pretty good size little bag, but that's going to be part of our future packaging and going forward. And then last not least, I did, and it's been a long time coming. I did new hanging tags. So it's got the keep thinking, keep moving, never quit on the front. Now the back side, I don't know if you can really see it, but kind of a new thing, just kind of fun. And then what it says on the backside, here's what it says. It looks better because it is better. And then all these little bullet points are the why is it better? Well, because it's real US made or mil spec webbing materials and logos, real Cordura brand 500 denier, real Velcro brand hook and loop, real dot fasteners, real ITW Nexus plastics, real Austria Alpine Cobra buckles, real humans, real world experience. So those are our new little hanging tags. Maybe for the right person, I'll throw in Cookie Monster gave me the insomnia cookies. Maybe I'll give you one of those. All right, before I get, oh gosh, it hurts to laugh. All right, give me a second. Let me just check in or get up where some comments here. We've got Cool TV saying shalom, Mark. How's it going? Hey, shalom to you, Cool TV. Thanks for joining. It's going pretty good. Going to keep it short though. You know, I mean, yesterday was a work day. Today was a work day. I should be totally like on my ass recovering, you know, and again, like I was saying, you know, and some people were like, you know, taking it the wrong way. I'm not mad that people are, but somebody said, you know, like one person did say, you know, enjoy your vacation. And I'm like, I have to go to the hospital to get a vacation. And maybe the recovery would have been my vacation. I really should have been sitting on my ass yesterday and today and all the way till next week. But again, small business owner, you know, you ain't got any choices here. Cool TV saying looking good. Gene, wow, loves the bag. Gene, you guys let me know. I think the idea of having that bag to be reusable, then I really would like it. Right now, you know, I can't remember. I think those are $1.50 my cost, or is it $2.50 my cost? $1.50 or $2.50 my cost for each one of those. I would rather that you don't just rip it open and throw away. I'd love to find a way to make it reusable. So you guys tell me what you think about that. That's just always been, you know, what's the point of having something just to throw it away? That's just a waste. But that's what we got going on for right now. Okay, what else do we got? Any comments, any questions here? Like I said, I am going to keep this pretty mellow. We might get joined by, well, here, let me just jump right into it. If you, with your guys' permission, I'll just show you some of the new hoodie designs, and I'll just keep kind of going that the last little things we're working on, like I said, and I hope I'll talk to Clint tonight. Clint from Nemesis Camo, he's probably going to be the guest on the 3rd of October. That's what we're kind of looking at right now. The 3rd of October, he'll come on, and hopefully we'll have more information on both the regarding the hats. Maybe I'll even have more information about the hats next week, but don't let me forget. Don't let me go past it, because patches are going to be in the process now too. So even if the hats kind of take a kick in the jimmy, so to speak, and we're delayed a couple months on the hats, we're still going to move forward with a bunch of the other swag, and that's what I'm going to talk about right now. Oh, here, let me just read this from Gene real quickly so y'all can see it. Snaps or Ziplocs would work, and he likes the hanging tags. Yeah, there's those little plastic snaps, and I bet there's an option. This is a big name company, American company. I bet I could find that bag. And I'd rather, honestly, you know, so I've got, what did I have to order? I think my MOQ was like 250 of these or something like that to get the good price point, but I'll look into that. So hold my feet to the fire, guys, guys and gals, because I would, you know, I'll burn through these, and then I would rather rotate in a sealable one, a reusable one in the future. Right. And the hang tags, Gene said he liked those. Okay. Now this, bear with me, because the JPEGs didn't download properly, so I had to kind of be creative. So I'm going to share a screen, and I'm going to have to jump back and forth. But hoodies. So I'm going to show you kind of the hoodies here. Give me a sec. So I've already shown you the orange one before, and that company we won't be able to do work with. So it took a little while. So again, Steven's really been helping out from, you know, I call him Squimby, a.k.a. Blackbeard. He's really been helping out, and his name's going to come up here in a little bit too. But he's been really helping me get all this together. I ordered, let me just get this out of the way a second. I ordered one today. So we're about to field test. I should have it next week. Look, because they're not going to be cheap. I'll just tell you right now. It's high end, made in America. It's a heavyweight hoodie. For all the hoodies we're going to do, you know, it'll be heavyweight or medium weight. The first launch will be heavyweight. And I don't mind saying this, that the company that we found that we're working through, they're saying MSRP should be about 145. And somebody would be like, oh, that's a lot for a hoodie. Well, show me a hoodie that you're going to get for under 60 or 70 bucks. I mean, there's a ton of them out there for 60 or 70 bucks. And they're the ones that shrink the first time they wash, or the ribs down on the wrist line comes apart, or down on the waistline, or the seams fall apart. So I ordered one. And, you know, and I'm going to give it a week or two of just wearing the shit out of it, washing the shit out of it, and just seeing if the colors bleed, if it shrinks. But they're saying, that company is suggesting, hey, you should MSRP it at 145. I think what we'll do is we'll MSRP it at 125. And that'll make a little bit more sense. I don't know if I'll go into it this live stream or next live stream about pricing and all this, but, you know, I'm not really trying to sell hoodies as my business to make money. But obviously I can't do it at a loss. So instead of trying to do their MSRP, I think we'll just, you know, make sure we're not losing money on it. And then we'll use that, whatever funds we are generating out of that, we'll use that for charity, or we'll use it to buy new material that you guys and gals say, hey, let's see one of those in this pattern. And then I can take that money, buy some of that material, and go forward. So just hang on to that right there. All right, so here, just back on the bag, Snowshoe Dave. A bag where the heat seal is torn off and there's a Ziploc below it. Okay, that's probably what Gene was getting at too, Dave. Yeah, okay, so I'll look into that. I'm pretty sure they'll have some options like that. So that's what we'll do going forward. Learn me something just came in. Sorry, I'm late. Great to see that you're on the mend. Thank you. Hey, yeah, go back and watch the beginning of the video, my good man. And then we've got Gene. About the same price as the good quality gym hoodies from Gasp and Mutant. So good price. Yeah, honestly, now my only thing right there is I just want to test it. I'm not going to put it out there on my website or even offer it if I don't think, and you can tell, I mean, I love hoodies, right? But what I don't like are shitty hoodies that follow. Well, look, in this hoodie, not made in America. This is my alma mater. I'm not doing this because I want to be what is that Belichick guy's name from football? It's because the sleeves suck monkey balls, right? And the sleeves just, so I just cut them off because it was just too annoying at the sleeve. So, you know, stuff like that. If I'm going to spend, I don't even want to spend $60 on a bullshit hoodie. I don't even want to spend $80 on a bullshit hoodie. I'm more than willing to spend $120 on a hoodie that is going to get me, you know, 7 to 10 years of use out of it, you know, and be super comfortable and broken in. So that's what we're still sticking to that. That's what we're shooting for. So on that note, on the hoodies, I think I got this set up now. So let me go ahead and present and share what we're doing on another option of the hoodies we talked about. And this, I'm going to have to bounce back and forth because, again, the JPEGs didn't download correctly. So I have to share a different window to do this. But so here's, just bear with me. And there, we'll go full screen on this. Oh, it is full screen. Okay. So this is the color green we're looking at. So this will be, so I think when we do the hoodies, we're going to have 3 designs available. We'll have that orange one with the food, fire, water, shelter, the shoot, move, communicate, medicate. We'll have that one available. Then we're going to have this really dark moss green color with the logo, the new logo on it. And then, so you see that. Now let me show you the back side of that. And I can't, so again, I apologize, but I have to go and do it differently every time because it just didn't download properly. Now, I'm not 100% sure if this is what we'll do on the back side of this one. This might just end up becoming its own hoodie with some keep thinking, keep moving, never quit type of thing. So that's what the back might look like on this hoodie. And here, let me just give you a better view of that. Sorry, I got to just keep jumping back and forth. I know, technology. And then here we go. And that's what that actually will look like. So there's a guy thinking, there's a guy moving, there's a guy never quitting. So we might do this. So you guys let me know, right? You know, I'm not doing this for me. I want to hear what you guys think. I'm not 100% sold if we're going to do this on the back, or we might just do the keep thinking, keep moving, never quit. So here, let me just get rid of this. Or we might do that keep thinking, keep moving, never quit on a black hoodie using my old logo, which is, you know, that, you know, kind of gray on a black background with the center spear is red. And then it says center line. And, you know, that might just be the front. So like, so that old logo, and I screwed it up. Sorry guys, I can't show it now. But so, you know, just like that green hoodie, just have the old logo on the front and then have that keep thinking, keep moving, never quit on the backside or down the sleeves, or maybe make that kind of just, that's what it says on the front and no logo. So give me an idea what you guys think about that. You know, the live stream, I always appreciate it, but, you know, leave comments as well. But yeah, so when we do open back up, it's looking pretty good that we're going to have at least 2 hoodie patterns available, possibly 3 hoodie patterns available, because we'll just be drop shipping them from this other company. So why would I try to dictate what you want then, right? So we'll just go the other way and you guys can pick and choose. And then honestly, and then that'll help us determine, hey, no one likes the idea I came up with. Imagine that wouldn't be the first time either, you know, and if everybody likes the other designs or whatever, you know, and then we can just streamline it and make it simpler, you know, going forward. So that's something about the hoodies right there. Yeah, so that's the hoodies. I kind of already mentioned the hats. I guess I'll just say it one more time. Oh, everything hurts though. Oh, getting old sucks, boys and girls. Everything hurts. But and again, I'm not going to do the MSRP the hoodie company is recommending. I'm going to do it lower. And then, you know, and there's just stay tuned. There's more. And I'm going to talk about that in a couple seconds. You know, a lot of this stuff we're going to be doing and putting that money towards good charities and other helpful causes. Well, here, I guess I might as well just do it right now. So just on that note, you know, if you remember back to, you know, last year and earlier this year, just talking about, you know, I haven't done price increases forever, you know, and look, I'm not whining. It just is what it is. But, you know, like inflation's been going on since way longer than people give it credit for. You know, I haven't done price increases in a long time, but I'm here to tell you, and I'm gonna solidify my decision on Saturday. But I'm not gonna raise prices. Look, knock on wood, things turn around, and next year isn't the shit show that it's already kind of, you know, looking like it might be. And I think I want to try to leave the prices where they are, as long as it, you know, it's enough to keep me putting some milk and eggs in my refrigerator and giving you great men and women the opportunity to get good, high quality gear, because you might very seriously, John has a long mustache. You might have to start using this stuff going forward. And I'm not even effing around when I say that, you know, and if nothing else, you know, laugh, Mark's wrong, you know, just fear mongering, clickbait, but then get out and just start hiking more, get out and fish more, get out and camp more, get out and hunt more, have some good gear. But by the end of this weekend, I'm going to have a really clear idea. I've already talked about it in the past, you know, how the tabs are going to work. We're going to have some of the ships the next business day. I don't think I'm going to split it into custom and so I was going to have a custom tab, and then I was going to have an appointment only tab. I honestly think we might just rotate. I still got to figure that out, but we're not going to have all the products up there, even on the custom tab. And the reason I did the "Are we there yet?" And God bless you, I don't mean this in a bad way, boys and girls, but I got people like saying, "Dude, what's up with this effing rucksack?" You know, yeah, I don't know if I've been dragging my feet, but you know, it's hard to keep everything going and staying alive, and then still trying to do new products. And you know, this isn't some giant, you know, made in China company here, so just bear with me. But I mean, the rucks are done, and when we open, they'll be available. I just got to figure out. I just don't want to like create a situation where everybody's really having to wait a long time. And I know everybody's pocketbooks are hurting. So I want to just make sure we can keep getting gear out to everybody. Hell, I've even thought about, and let me know in the comments, I've even thought about not even doing custom orders and just doing ships the next business day for the rest of the year. So leave me a comment, help me think about it. But I've even been thinking about that. So it ships immediately, just so you can have good, high quality gear in your hands. Cause I hate to say it, you might need it. All right. Now, I think I've done a pretty decent job about talking about that. I got a few more things. Excuse me. Let me just get caught up with some of the, the comments here. And, you know, I don't have, well, here's a comment. Love the moss green with the new logo, even if the back is bare. Yeah. Okay. So, yeah. So maybe we don't do that. Keep thinking, keep moving, never quit. I actually kind of want to do that as its own hoodie. Maybe not quite that design, but something very similar. So that might be the third pattern we do. So thanks, Saline. I know who you are. You could leave a comment and let everybody else know who you are, because I almost just said who you are a couple times already. So you might want to just comment, and then so I'm not outing you. VTech Moonwalker. How you doing, Mark? Didn't know there was a live stream today. Yeah, you know, and that's kind of on me. As I said last week, you know, before I went under the knife, I wasn't sure if I was going to do it. I probably shouldn't have done it, but there's just so much crap. I just felt compelled. I got to get out there and do it. And I tried doing some social media, letting everybody know today, but you know, social media, big double-barreled middle finger. But thank you, VTech Moonwalker, for joining us here. All right. Let me see. So I just kind of covered, we're not going to do any price increases. I'm not 100% sure how the website's going to look, but I'm going to have that resolved by this weekend, just to kind of capture where we are, or recapitulate where we are. Hats are a little bit of a limbo right now, but Clint is really such a good American and understands, you know, anyway, we're working through that. Hopefully I'll have an answer for you next week. Hoodies, though, big, huge shout out to Steven, a.k.a. Blackbeard. You know, he's the guy with the logo, helping me with all these thumbnails, the design. I already ordered one of those, so I'll know next week if this is going to be the hoodie we're going to go with. And then, yeah, Gene, I'll get to you in a second. We're going to do that. So just on that note, the other swag. So even if the hats fall through and I have to go to a different hat company, and I'm trying to not have to do that because there is an American made hat company and that's who I'd rather work with, but it's becoming difficult, and just, it is what it is. Right. And Clint's really, like I said, Clint is just such a solid human being, really trying to make this work for not just me, but a couple other companies too. And so one of those other companies, and I don't have their permission to say who they are, so I'm not going to say, but I really do want to say who they are in the future. They do great things, and I'm hoping I can reach out to that guy, because he was going to do my embroidery on the hats, and he does patches. So I'm going to reach out to him probably tomorrow or Monday and say, hey, even if these hats fall through, what about doing some patches? So, you know, we're looking at the hoodies, hopefully the hats, but if not the hats, the patches. And then to what Gene just said, beanies. And Gene, yeah, that's still on my list, because, you know, that's a bald noggin right there. And I love having a skull beanie on to keep me warm. but that I haven't even started looking into that one yet. But once we do, I mean, hell, maybe, but so again, I had such a problem getting fleece, American source fleece. We could make our own skull beanie. I mean, it's what we do. We've got more than enough the capabilities and the qualifications and craftsmanship. I just don't know if I could get American source fleece. So that would be maybe another one that falls into, this isn't from America, but this is a really good company. Here, I don't mind saying this. Mountain Hardware, the skull beanies, if you ever seen me wearing my skull beanies, I got those from Mountain Hardware. Probably, I mean, look, I've got some pictures of me when I was a cool guy overseas, and I was wearing one of them. So, I mean, that would have been back in like, prior to 2010. I mean, so that thing has lasted me like 15 or more years. I mean, not quite 20 years. So even though that was made overseas, that was just really good craftsmanship. So, and that was a Mountain Hardware brand. So, they obviously, either had somebody make it and they just put their logo on it, or they were making it. But even if I found something like that, where it was that same craftsmanship and material, then I could get my logo embroidered on it. And that's why I kind of want to start working with this other American company. So again, I don't want to dime them out. I don't have permission, but that's who I want to start even having that embroidery done, in-house with another small American company or just another small business period. So Gene, I hope that answered your question on the beanies, but yeah. And then the beanies would be another one coming forward, and stay tuned. So next week's live stream, and I'll get into that in a second, I'll have more information in the next 2 live streams about what it's going to look like going forward. Because again, I'm working through the next business day is going to be there, that 3rd slot. So again, when we open up, that 3rd slot is going to be filled with Nemesis. So ready to ship the very next business day, a bunch of Nemesis camo. Just shit looks so awesome. And then, a week, 2 weeks later, we're going to have to figure it out. Then we're going to put something else in there. And sometimes it might be a product that we don't have available even on the custom side. Other times it might be another pattern that we're trying, or it might be the same gear, but in a color combo that we want to try. As a matter of fact, and I'll show a little of that off next week, because we're going to tuck one in the end of this week, beginning of next week. We're going to do a mother in a really cool, I'll show it off next week, because that might be another option. We do stuff like that. So just stay tuned. We'll figure that out, and kind of put a tack in that this weekend. But then, and then going in for the swag and stuff. And, swag isn't what we do, but I think if I'm going to do swag, all the money, the proceeds, again, just kind of reiterating everything, that's going to go to we'll put that money towards charity or buying material that you guys want to see, some other legacy camouflage or something. And then we make a couple products in that, and then we either auction those off or we put them up for sale, first come, first serve, that kind of stuff. So we're almost there on that. And then my last comment here, and I'm going to go into one other thing. And again, I don't know if we're going to get Steven. And so I'm going to present some stuff from Steven. So another thing that we're going to do, and this might be 3rd slot, next available the next business day. That's what I want to do. So Steven and I are still figuring this out. Blackbeard, you heard me talk about it a bunch of times. Well, he does work in leather, and he does really good work in leather. I don't do work in leather. So he and I have already been talking about, like, hey, Steven, what if you made 4 of this, or 2 of, you made a handful of your products? Or what if I gave you my patterns and you duplicated something I make, but you did it in leather the way he does it? Now I'm going to show you some pictures of something he made in leather that really got me thinking, and I wanted to present this to him. So I was like, hey, dude, I would be more than willing to let you use the platform, to show off your skills and craftsmanship and your wares. And, it's nothing to do with me, just all the proceeds and everything go to him. But let me share this, and I'll show something that he's done. All right, here we go. There. So that's a leather pouch he made for his wife just earlier this year. And, I can't zoom in on it. I apologize. So again, I had to do this differently because it didn't download in the proper format for some reason. So, but you can just kind of get a sense of that right there. So that's not really what the meat bag looks, but that's kind of similar. So maybe, like, for example, maybe we do the meat bag in leather, right? And he makes 4 of those, and those are next business day. Here, let me just show you some other ones, views of that product right there. These are just examples, and he gave me permission to talk about it. So, and then that's the back side of it. So you can see the quality. He's got really good stitching. I'm not lying. And stitching leather is very different from stitching Kadura. But really good, very good, clean stitching. I really like the leather he has access to and just the patina that's already kind of on it. And so imagine a centerline product with this guy's quality and craftsmanship on the leather side. We're also talking about maybe using, doing something with belts, with the Austria Alpine buckles that I use. That could be really effing cool. All right. And then the last little thing of him. And then so you get a sense of the depth of it right there. And that's the thickness, right? So, and that's just got belt loops on there. So it hangs low from your belt. But I'm just sharing that with you so you see the quality of his work and letting you know what we're kind of thinking about going forward. I was really hoping he could come on and talk a little bit about it. He didn't, it was last minute and he was like, I want to, but I'm not 100% sure if I'll be able to do it because of his work for today. So I'll ramble, which I'm very good at. I'll ramble for a couple more minutes, see if he joins in. But I wanted to show that out to you because I want to hear your guys' thoughts on that. So again, we'll have, whether we call it the custom orders or and maybe I still should do custom, and then we should do appointment only, because the rucksacks. So I'm even thinking that, you got to just look at your time management. Each one of those takes almost a full day to make. I guess maybe if we were selling one a day, then, but then to do that, then I don't have time to do any other products. So what do we do? Shut down the rest of the store? Oh, here comes Blackbeard. Yeah. Okay. But yeah, let's just bring Blackbeard on. All right. I don't know if Blackbeard. Yeah. Hey, now you've been over here before, but just as always, tell everybody a little bit about yourself. And I don't know if you saw it. I just got done showcasing your gear, but I'll try to bring it back up after you say hello.
Yeah, so I guess my other moniker is Blackbeard, but my name is Steven, and I like outdoor gear. I'm just like everybody else that's watching this in that respect, And I started off like doing the leather. I do the leather as a hobby mostly. I've sold some of it, but mostly I make it for friends and family. And I learned a lot about it because there's something like romantic about leather that you don't get with the modern materials. Most of my gear is still Cordura, but it just doesn't have the same kind of romanticism in it, and it doesn't like. There's something historically beautiful too about leather, yeah. So like that, there's little details that you don't think about until you start doing it. But like a lot of people use leather from a place called Tandy Leather. I'm not trying to knock that, and maybe even some of you do that, but it's okay. But if you want to get good leather, you have to source it directly from the tanneries. And there's a really good one in Chicago I like. There's a few good ones in Great Britain. And so you kind of pull from that. And then there's little things like I like Mark knows that I like going to the Renaissance Festival, and there are plenty of shops there that sell leather, and I get why they do what they do, because it isn't that they don't, likely some of them don't, but you learn the tools of the trade after a while. But there's little finishing touches on things that other people won't do. Like anytime you have a cut edge, somebody who's like serious about it is gonna bevel and burnish that edge, and you need special tools to do that. But it's just how you finish things. Like, and if you go to like the store, odds are you're gonna have bonded leather of some kind where they like grind up the remnants of something. Sorry, my here you go. Somebody wants to visit.
Well, you are Renaissance man. You have a cat.
All right, I'm gonna let him down. But anyway, it's little things like that, and like knowing, well, what thickness of leather do I use? Is it veggie tan? Is it chrome tan? Is it combination tan? Most of the stuff, and then you can play with it too. Like, do I want flexibility in the gusset of something that I'm making, or does that need to be stable? And I have flex maybe on the front, so you can use different kinds of leather. There's different grades of leather. Personally, I kind of like the cheaper grades of leather. And what they mean when they say like cheaper is it's just like you have to remember these come from living creatures. So maybe the cow or the horse brushed up against a barbed wire fence, they got a cut, now they have a scratch. I mean, if you're doing like high-end luxury goods or something like that, you probably don't want to use that. But if you're using something that's like rugged for outdoors, I kind of like it. It gives it character, but that's me. But anyway, I do it for fun. I do have a machine I'm gonna start implementing that's for stitching, but everything I do is hand stitch. I mostly use what's called saddle stitching. I don't know if I'm getting too much into the
No,
minutia of this.
there's some comments that are coming in. People, no, you're doing good. There's people already digging on the leather stuff. So, well, here, I'll just start at the bottom of them before you go any further. Here, I'll just read the comments that have come in while you were talking. Gene, damn, that's the CLS Cowboy Crew sounds awesome. So that's just kind of funny right there. I like that. And then he's saying, good evening to you. Damn, awesome leatherwork, frontiersman style gear. Loves it. And then my favorite just came in from VTech Moonwalker. Call me weird, but I bet that leather smells amazing. So no, I think that feeds right into where you're going. So you've got a good audience. Keep going, sir.
It does smell amazing, and like something I am going to do. I have to do it. I've already bought a little bit of Kydex. But so what they used to do, like if you guys, people watching this, like you're outdoorsmen in some capacity, so you have a knife, or I mean, you probably have many knives. So the factory sheaths are almost always terrible. And there's plenty of people that make leather sheaths, and it varies, and that's the thing to consider is like, well, price point. It's the same kind of thing like with your stuff. It's like this is why at like the Ren fairs they do really cheap stuff. Like I see people make bags without even stitching. They just lose.
You lost your audio. You lost your audio. And now I hear myself reverbing. So it's playing me through your speakers, but we don't hear you anymore. We can't hear you. Yep, go out and come back in. Yep, perfect. All right. So just a little temporary glitch there. We'll get Blackbeard back on. But hey, to the point he was making, to the comments you guys made, you're not weird, VTech Moonwalker. You're right in the same group of people, because that's exactly it. Like, and that's why when he showed me that picture, Blackbeard, you're back now. But when he showed me that picture, I was like, oh, dude, you gotta fucking get that out in front of people and sell that somehow. Hey, can go ahead and just give us a sound check.
Testing.
Yeah, you're good now.
Okay.
Yeah. Continue where you left off. But you were talking about that, and then you cut out. So about the time I was getting you about a sentence before that, no one heard what you said.
So some modern materials are absolutely better, right? But what they used to do for knives or swords is they didn't have they had sheaths, but they also had something called a scabbard. Guys are probably familiar with that. And basically, it would be like wood that would surround the blade, and then you cover the wood in leather. Well, the modern equivalent of that is you have leather sheaths and you have Kydex sheaths, and then you have a few people, because I wanted this for myself, and I realized I either go on like a forever wait list, which I'm not promising that I wouldn't have to fall to that myself, but because I don't know, or just nobody does it. And but I want the Kydex sheath wrapped in leather, and the reason I want it is because if you're a hunter, things like telegraphing your sound is not a good thing. And Kydex is very loud, but it does great in wet environments, right? Because it is not natural, so it's hydrophobic and it repels the water. You take the Kydex, you wrap it in leather, and you get the best of both worlds, because number one, it's more aesthetically pleasing. Number two, it's quiet, because the leather dampens the sound of the draw of the knife, and if you get the benefit of the Kydex, where it retains its shape, it doesn't deform through moisture, and moreover, you don't have to use retention straps, which they're fine, but it's kind of cool, just like click it in, click it out with the Kydex. So that's something I want to do at some point, even if only for myself. I'm going to make it happen because I want it. But yeah, we use it for, we still wear leather belts, we still wear leather shoes. I just like it, and I just don't have the finances to jump into like the kind of stuff that you're doing to make little cottage products, but I do enjoy that very much. So I'd like to duplicate at least a few of your items, even if it's just like a limited run or a charity event or something. It would be cool.
Yeah, and I think that's why thanks for being able to come on, because like I definitely want to do it, and and then like there's there's some people who've ripped off my products who work in different materials, and if you really are paying attention, you know exactly who these people are. it's never been my thing to call people up by name. You know, you do you, right? But there's a bunch of companies who've ripped off my designs and they still do to this day. Whatever. Imitation is not the highest form of flattery, by the way. It's actual intellectual property, and it's pretty cheesy. But for Blackbeard, you know, if he's willing to do it and we do come up with ideas, like maybe we do make some mothers in leather, or, you know, Blackbeard and I were talking about belts, or, you know, maybe again, the meat bag when we have that come up, because, you know, and I think Blackbeard, that might be of interest to you because that bag will be very similar to what you just made there that we showed off. A different design, but very similar. And that might actually have an appeal. And that could be something you maybe put in your hip pocket for Renaissance fairs and, you know, and in your sales and stuff. But now on that note, so like, you know, what, you know, so Steve and I are talking about this. So it's just going to be part of the way forward, right? You know, it's part of that whole way forward series. And then Are We There Yet? Kind of wrapping that up here, because should be opening up here in the next couple of weeks. But I think I personally would be really honored, and I think it would be awesome if we can get some of your gear in there whenever, you know, look, Blackbeard's going to have to take the time, source the materials, make them all by hand, you know, just, you know, and that takes time. But then when he's ready and like, hey, there we go. And he agrees and he likes what he did and I like what he did. And then we put them up and those are available the next business day. And yeah, Blackbeard, you know, makes a little bit of money. So he's got food for that really expensive cat of his.
You know, it's a collaboration. I wouldn't like replicate your stuff on my own. Plus, I like inventing. Like that one I did was literally a product of procrastination. I usually make my own patterns in Illustrator, which is one of the programs I use, like when I'm doing the logos and T-shirt designs and so forth. So, but you can dial that into the, you know, down to the millimeter if you need be. So I usually build them in that, but for that one, I ran out of time because it was for my wife's birthday and it was like 4 days away. So, and I work full time, so it's like I got to do this at night.
Yeah, yeah. But so, you know, so again, but just so boys and girls, we'll figure this out. You know, Blackbeard and I will be talking about it. We just talked about this the other day. So I've got one of these. You know, this is like an old canteen. Maybe we take this style or this concept, but we modernize it and we like the main pouch that we put here. And look, somebody's already going to watch this and like, oh, that's a great idea. I'm going to run with it. But no one's doing that right now. So you heard it here first because that's people really doing it. But if you like these leather canteens, maybe we just do something that's more in line with like the old style leather canteen, but then we add a pouch to it. Maybe it's just large enough for an Altoids tin survival pouch. You know, maybe there's some leather loops on it, you know, where you can put a ferrule rod or something. But Blackbeard and I will work on this. But I just wanted to talk about it because I don't know. I'm really stoked. I really want to do it. You guys help me convince Blackbeard that he wants to do it too, because I think it would be badass.
Well, and yeah.
Go ahead.
Well, and the cool thing is there, like, some people will, like I was saying, like it's like a marriage and integration of modern materials with traditional materials to get something that's kind of unique. Like I don't know. I still use it. I still like it. Like the Tech Lock, the you know, belt, which you can do that with leather. And then it affords you the ability, because unless you use like, and you can use snaps too. Like the snaps you use would be great, because
also the snaps that, so look, we're geeks. Like half of the time Blackbeard and I are talking on an app program, and he's showing me stuff, I'm showing him stuff. And, you know, I don't really look into some of these other industries, but he's showing me some other snaps. And then, you know, so even maybe we incorporate some of that stuff and you make, again, and maybe that's where the old meets new type of option right there.
For sure. For sure. And the cool thing is that either way you go, like these are products that can be heirloom, you know?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's cool. It's cool stuff. I enjoy it, but it is time consuming, but it's a great, it's so cool to craft something you get to look at the end of the day and have people get use out of it. So,
hey,
yeah.
Before we go forward here, VTech, I want to bring your thing up to the screen to read, but I have no idea who that guy is, you know, and I've never had a beer with you, but I mean, I'm going to trust you that this is a decent person. So if you just want to like throw another little comment there, like, you know, yeah, this is handcrafted, made in America, you know, whatever, just give me a little something to go off of, and then I'll pop up, because I have no problem plugging this other company, but I just don't know who they are. So I'm always a little hesitant. So VTech, help me help this guy out. Give me a little bit more to go off of. Just give me something like, yeah, you know, again, coming from you, I'm sure this is a reputable guy. But just give me a little, type of thing. And then I'm just going to give you this comment from Gene, Blackbeard. Yeah, he says, Canteen needs doing, start making them, Blackbeard, please. Well, okay. So on that note, again, I'm going to be on my side for the tabs and how we're going to have the business going forward. I'm solidifying that final decisions this weekend. And then part of that then we'll be talking with Blackbeard. And then, again, he's not, just sitting with his thumb up his fourth point of contact, right? So we got to look at how much time would it take, figure out where we want to start. But yeah, I think I agree with Gene. Whether we start with the Canteen or we start with the belt, or like, I think another one that would be really cool would be the G3, like the gear roll. I think that would be another cool all leather product. Good. Again, I mean, I consider all the stuff I make heirloom. You throw it in leather, and especially the leather, that's not it, but the leather you're using, and honestly, I did not know that you were sourcing one of them from the UK. So maybe you can come back to that as well. I didn't get anything from VTech yet, so I'll come back to that. He was talking about a guy, people can see it in the comments. He knows a guy who actually does Kydex and leather, makes top shelf sheaths. Look him up. Again, I ain't saying anything negative
for myself.
Well, then I'll pop it up then here. I just didn't have any time to do any of my own.
Yeah, no, I'm familiar with him. I actually reached out to him to see if he would post an online course on using on how he does, because he's got a lot of his sophisticated equipment, but how to do the Kydex, because that's primarily what he does. He does wrap it, but the wait list is kind of sucks, and I get it because I think it's just him, but yeah, no, his stuff is beautiful.
Look, it is what it is. When you're doing handcrafted gear and everything's custom, that was one of the things, why we came up with the next business day, because I honestly, and take this for whatever, I don't mean it negatively. It's just the truth. I was spending so much time dealing with people who didn't read anything, didn't see that it was custom made, and then calling me up and giving me the raspberries and yelling at me and saying I need to make it more obvious. And I'm like, I don't know how I can make it more obvious. You check the box, and the box is 2 sentences. The only way I could make that more obvious is if I read it for you. But okay, so this guy, and then I'm going to come back over to VTech because he added more commentary. Yeah, he's legit one-man show. Okay, so you were just saying that, Blackbeard. Yeah. Pretty much every sheath he makes. So again, and so it is what it is. If you're a one-man show and you're making custom handcrafted gear, yeah, there's a wait list. And somebody would be like, why is there a wait list for soft goods? Because it isn't handcrafted by slaves in fucking China. That's why. I mean, and most, okay.
It's just, I've had, I've waited like over 6 months for stuff, but I ordered a knife once from this company and they just went under. And I waited for this knife for 3 years. For 3 years, I waited for this knife. And you guys, some of you probably know which one I'm talking about too.
I think I
won't do that.
Yeah,
you gotta, at a certain point, you gotta find a way to scale, or just say this isn't. But I mean,
then going back to VTech's comment. So I guess Blackbeard Custom Kydex. In VTech, I don't know if you know that guy, but maybe I should reach out. Maybe that's something in the future to have him on as a guest. Sounds like he's way bigger than me, so maybe he'd be like, I don't know, but see, I just love this, right? Because it's craftsmanship. I want to learn more about what other people do and how they do it as well. So, but I guess he posts the videos on YouTube of the finished product before he sends them out. He's got a few sheets from BBCK.
Nice.
So that's what we're going to be doing on certain things as well. Like, and then we'll advertise, hey, this is what's going to drop. But honestly, a lot of that's going to be for you guys and gals, on the videos, whether it's on Twitter or Rumble or whatever I'm going to do for social media. And again, I'm not saying I'm not going to do ScrewTube and I'm not going to do Instagram, but I'm probably not going to spend a lot of time with the, hey, we're thinking of doing this, or asking for feedback, because I'm so throttled over there. But, I want to hear from you guys and gals what you want. So, you just heard my thoughts. A G3 in the belt. That would, to me, would be a great place for me and Blackbeard to start. But maybe you guys think of something else, right? So we want to find a way. But then to your point, VTech, yeah, then when these things are ready, that's when they go on the website, limited quantity. And when they're gone, and they may not come back ever again, or it might be another 6 months. But unlike what you, and again, I'm not picking on this guy because that's how I am. Custom made is custom made, 10 to 12 weeks, and people are like, oh, I can't believe I need it next week. Well, I don't know what to tell you, man. Go buy something from China. I mean, I don't have these, but so we're trying to satisfy that now with those next business day items. But I don't dog this guy. takes them that long. I
Well,
mean, yeah, I would expect it does.
yeah, yeah, and it's also too, it's like, it's hard to get maybe that guy had a different experience, but, like, I've reached out to him multiple times, like, I've emailed him many times with no response, you know, I got through to him once on Instagram, so it is what it is. It's one thing if I like I said, I'll wait a year for it. I mean, that's that's not a thing, but it's just like I at a certain this is me personally, at a certain point, if I have the capability of doing it myself, which I think I can do it, I'm just gonna do it myself. And then I get exactly what I want. And I learn something as I'm doing it, you know. So that's just
Right
where I'm
on.
at on it. But I get the waiting. I mean, good things come to those who wait, you know. I mean, that's the
Well, and
truth.
yeah, and you're not cranking out high quality, craftsmanship. You're not cranking that out, one every 30 minutes. That's not high quality in craftsmanship. I
If
mean, like,
if you hand stitch right a piece of leather, which I said I'm still gonna use a machine, but if you use a machine to stitch the leather, if one of the threads comes loose, all of them can come loose. But if you hand stitch it the right way, one of those gets loose, it doesn't matter. It's not going anywhere. And that's kind of nice too. I mean, it's always good to learn to repair your own gear anyway, but that's one of the reasons that I like doing the hand stitching, aside from the fact that it's therapeutic. But I mean, it makes the time. It takes a lot long. Like, it's considerable the time savings using a machine, obviously,
yeah.
right? So
Yeah, I just saw an ad, with the hoodies that we've been talking about and working on. I saw an ad for another company, we're looking on the drop shipping ones, and they had like, a thing of their floor, advertising, how they're doing it. And I'm like, there's the only human being interaction here is to put material onto a table and then take the product and put into the packaging. Like the rest of it was all automated. And if the machine gets out of whack, if your tension is off, and tension's a real thing, like you said, then threads aren't going down seam allowances. They're missing, materials not being sewn where it should be sewn. And then that, the thread doesn't have the right tension. So that thread gets loose. Now that thread breaks. And unlike when you're talking about, like, if you know how to, so is that a saddle stitch that you're talking about where, if that gets, yeah. So if you're not doing that right, the proper stitch, but, on the, the gear that we make on the soft goods that I make over at Centerline, if that happens, I mean, that can just like that'll just run all the way down, and now everything falls apart. So you've got to pay attention to the tension and, and all the seam. You have to do that. And that takes time, and it takes skill, and it takes attention to detail, which most people don't want to do. They just want to nail it, get it done as fast as possible and get it out and make as much money as possible off of it. So, and just to give Blackbeard a plug, this is why I really, again, and thanks, he was kind enough to come on, but just let everybody know, I really wanted him to do this because he's a craftsman. I saw that picture. I'm like, oh, dude, you should be doing, you obviously know what the F you're doing. I want to buy one of those things for me too. It's really good looking stuff. So, we'll figure that out going forward. Hey, I got just, two more announcements to make. Blackbeard, I don't know if you've got to run. I don't know if Household Fix is, saying get off the damn computer, or if maybe it's your cat telling you to get off
I
the
have
computer.
I have a Bible study here I got to get to in a little bit.
Well, why don't you take us out on what you want to end it with, and I'll just end my housekeeping at the very end once you're done. So why don't we just take the next 3 to 5 minutes for you and do what you want to say.
Um, I guess I have a certain philosophy in my life, which isn't for everybody, but it works for me, which is I'd rather have a lot fewer things that I feel that I can trust or that signify quality to me. Not everybody's like that though, So I don't begrudge anybody that. I have some cheap stuff, but I do think that there's legitimate truth to the buy once, cry once, and that's why I try and source my gear from domestic producers. That's not the only reason. Like, I also, for economic reasons, I like doing that. I'm not a purist, but um, but I think that there's something to be said, too, about the romanticism of and design. Good design. That's something else that I think should be touched upon. I know that this is like outdoor gear. It's meant for use and abuse, but also a certain point at which the pragmatism of something shouldn't be at the expense of beauty. It's not like you can't make it look pretty cool too, and like, why do people want these different camo patterns? I mean, sure, some of them probably have very specific applications where they're like, look, I live primarily in a desert environment, so I want this. But sometimes it's just, I think that looks pretty cool, you know? And why not, you know?
Yeah.
I think we undervalue the value of beauty, but I think that we've lived so long with this kind of reductionist, both in like not only in the products that we use, but in the architecture and environment that we live in, you know.
Well, it's
There's a
definitely the
reason.
truth in arts and
Yeah,
architecture. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, hands down.
yeah. So, like, but I think we're at the beginnings of a renaissance, of a rediscovery of the value of beauty. It's just hard for the modern mind because it's at a place where if I can't put it, how do I monetize it into a spreadsheet? How do I look at it in that column? And you know, the truth is, and people don't like this, and I'm someone who believes in objective truth, but there is an element of truth to. I think that there are elements of beauty which are objective. You know, like you have things like the golden ratio, Fibonacci spirals, and all those kind of things. Um, but but at the same time, it's like, you know, what is that worth to somebody? Well, it's worth what they're willing to pay for it. That's true. You know, a gallon of water is worth one thing to somebody who lives next to the greatest reservoirs of fresh water in the world, and it means something else to somebody in the middle of the Sahara. The water itself hasn't changed, but its utility based on the use context changed. So we all have to decide, you know, where we put that value. And I just, you know, I know what I like, so that's why I kind of focus on those things. But I think that's a choice for all of us, you know. Um, but I think that that's a cool thing is the reintegration of beauty, and you get that in kind of the classical materials, not exclusively. You can do really cool stuff. I like the designs, you know, but form follows function. So it's this interplay between functionality. A lot of people, when they're doing design, think, well, I can do that. You know, like you look at all those images that I made for the shirts, they're just flat. It's just a silhouette. It's monochrome. It's one color, and then it's the background. It's negative space and positive space. But try it. If you don't do it, try it. And
Yep.
one of the first things you're gonna do is like, I'll just add more things. You know, if I just have more things, it'll be better. And good design though is like, no, how do I eliminate everything that I don't need to something that's beautiful and functional? And I use that like in redoing this house I've been working on. I do it on the leather goods that I make. I do it when I'm designing, you know, the images for anything, you know. So yeah, I would just say like it's not even really as like it's I'm not trying to sell anything, you know. I'm just saying that like I'm encouraged in the light of all the things that are happening economically, politically, spiritually. I'm encouraged that I already feel and I see the undercurrents of a renaissance, of the rediscovery of the value of things, which seem to be more intangible, but they're going to come to the forefront. We're turning, we're going through that dark soul of the night, or is that right? Phrase? Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We're going through that
yeah,
period of darkness. Yeah,
yeah.
but it
But
is
that's
a, but
okay.
it, yeah. But to your point, though, you're kind of saying, but that is, just like anything, it's a circle, right? And we're coming out, hopefully through this darkness comes some light and some beauty. Is that what
It's
you're kind of
coming.
getting at?
It's
Yeah.
coming. I'm telling you.
I,
I know you can't. It's the buds, the springing of the buds. They're coming.
I hope you're
So
right, my good man, on that one. Amen. I mean, I want to be wrong, whether it's on Millstone or here on Centerline. I've said it a bunch of times. Look, and just on that note, I know some people would be like, well, I said, at the beginning of September, we weren't even going to make it through the middle of September. And I hate to say it, just look at what's been going on, and we didn't make it through the middle of September. I want to be wrong. I want Blackbeard to be right because truth be told, I don't want to be effing worried and thinking about this shit anymore. I want to find a way to work with great guys and gals, other designers like, Blackbeard, other good companies, and find a way to get great, again, legacy, heirloom products that not, that, if you want to leave it on the
give
shelf,
them
you
to your
leave it on the
children.
shelf.
Give them to your grandchildren. I mean,
Yeah, but
that's the
yeah,
thing. Like, yeah, how cool would that be? Like, my grandfather, my great grandfather, he gave me a saxophone, so I learned that when I was young, and I got to play his. Now, eventually, it fell apart because it was quite old, right? And but it was great, and um, the other thing I'd say is like when you're getting the outdoor gear, should you get this, you know, for the troubling times that we are going into and are in, but are going into deeper. Yeah, I mean that's prudent, right? And you should really put thought into that. But I mean, for the love of God, like enjoy it, man. Like go out. I mean, I'm gonna enjoy it. I don't care what's going on. I'm gonna go in the woods. I'm gonna have my gear that I love. I'm gonna have my knives that I love. I'm gonna fool around whittling sticks and building stuff and starting fires. And I'm gonna smell the fire and I'm gonna look at the sky and I'm gonna look at the nature around me. And I don't care. Like I'm not ignorant to that, but I'm gonna enjoy this. So it's not only just a survival thing. It's like we're people have thought people have forgotten that we're a part of nature, that we are natural, you know,
Yeah.
that's what we are. And we in some way, this it's a long story, but we kind of got this in our head that we're at odds with it because it's unforgiving and it's dispassionate and it is those things, but it's beautiful and it's where we belong. And
Well, yeah.
anything that aids that and facilitates that, that's what I'm about.
Well, so I got 2 comments to that. I'm going to bring one of them up, which isn't my comment because it's just a good one. VTech, call me weird, but I bet that leather smells amazing, just like you
It
said.
does.
And as you were giving your comment, Blake and I a couple of weeks ago were talking about that C.S. Lewis quote, and I'm going to get it wrong, but he's talking about where, he was talking about nuclear war and where do you want to be? Are you going to sit there and when it finds you, are you going to be cowering in the corner, like, and fretting about it every day? Or is it going to find you down at your local pub, having a beer, breaking some bread, with your buddies, being a human being, right? So I like that. I
What
think that was really well done.
what was that bar from Shaun of the Dead where he's like, let's just go to the pub and wait till it all passes over?
Well,
We
that's
need
kind of it right
that.
there.
Where's
Yeah.
that pub? Somebody open that, please.
Yeah. Right. I'm sure those will be banned next too. All right. Well, hey, thanks. We're at an hour, so I'm going to start wrapping it up. And I know you got to bounce. We'll definitely have more information coming from Blackbeard. So stay tuned to that. It is going to be part of that 3rd slot when we open back up. Again, leave a comment in the comment section. Blackbeard and I are going to figure out, we just got to figure out where we're going to start. I mean, I don't want to speak for you, but I don't think we'll start with the G3. I mean, I think we do something else first, but we'll just see where it goes. And then we'll just, have fun with it. And just, again, like Blackbeard said, it's utilitarian, it's form, it's function, it's beauty. It gets you out to where you should be. So it's good for this. It's good for this, and get out there and just start using it. And, and again, and 40 years from now, your kids have it or your grandkids are looking at it and just like, wow, that was badass what, grandpa had or whatever. And it really is an heirloom piece of gear. So, all right, Blackbeard, thank you. Any final comments on your way out?
You well. I'll see you guys.
All right. Thank you, sir. We'll see you. We'll talk to you later. Have a good night.
You too.
All right. Thanks now. All right. My last comments, boys and girls, just a little bit more housekeeping. I just want to tell you about next week. So the next 2 episodes anyway. So the next 2 live streams next week. And I talked to both of these individuals here. Here, as a matter of fact, let me just do this real quickly. Right here. And I got to come back to me. Okay. So if you can see, her name is Melanie. I just put her Instagram profile up there. But so Murph and I, actually, maybe I should have just hid that for a second. So Murph and I, Murph Nuge, he's been on before. We're doing that thing for the young Marines. That kind of got a little snag or whatever. And then Murph and I just decided we're just going to move forward and just make this happen. I really was hoping the material would have been here today. It didn't arrive. So we're going to have to jump through some hoops next week. But by next Thursday's live stream, we will have one of the rucksacks in the frog skin, legacy camo, frog skin camo. I found a source in that I found a place where that's sourced. And I've also found some webbing that goes with it. So we'll have that ready and that'll be next week. So next week, we're going to show that off. Murph and I will be working the next couple of days, figuring out, if I'm going to do the charity on my website, like I did the last charity, or if we're going to do it through the Young Marines, also look at, when we can do the drawing. Cause I would love it if we did the drawing with him and the Young Marines at their place. But then we're also, now I'm going to just bring her back up. So we're going to bring on Melanie Chestnut here. I just got to look at her, the Wolf Mother. So she's going to come on here. I can do this a little bit. So single mother, former Marine, martial artist, just trying to get out there and do, and just anyway, just kick-ass person. We're going to have her come on as well and join me and Murph. So the focus will be on the charity auction for the young Marines, but that isn't going to take, the whole hour. So we're going to bring Melanie on and that's a possibility right now, because I talked to her very briefly and she might not be able to come on because she's a single mother, just like the rest of us. I mean, we're all effing busy and her kids in flag football. But she might be able to join us next Thursday. And if not, then Melanie and I will work out another time to get her on somewhere in October. And then, so that takes me to the week after, which is the 3rd. Yeah, that's the 3rd of October. Clint from Nemesis Camo will be on. And hopefully that's going to be like the last live stream before we open up the store. And we're showing off some of the Nemesis products. And then we're going to do a charity with Clint as well. It's going to be a charity of Clint's choosing. And just knowing him, he's a former snake eater, 18 series, special forces. It'll probably be a charity for the families of fallen special forces members, who've fallen in combat. There's a couple different ones out there, but we'll see how that goes. And yeah, and then that's kind of probably going to be a kickoff for, opening the store. So that's our next 2 weeks of live streaming right there. I'll just shut up for a second or mumble. I don't see any new comments, so nothing really to catch up on, but that's it. Yeah, thanks to Blackbeard for coming on. I was thinking maybe I'd get this done in an hour, or 30 minutes, but an hour, not bad. We're kind of getting back on track with that. Hey, seriously, just one last time. You know who you are, goddamn Cookie Monster. Yeah, I can't be eating these, but I'll be freezing a bunch of them. So thank you so very, very much. I'll have more information next week's live stream. We'll be crossing some T's and dotting some I's here by the end of this week, this weekend. And really and then next week I'll be working on redoing the whole website based on that. Thank you guys for watching as always. You make this so much fun. Thanks for the comments and joining in and taking the time away from your busy lives to sit here and listen to an idiot like me ramble, but I really appreciate it. Looking forward to seeing everybody next week. Maybe I'll be in a little bit better spirits. I think I'm in good spirits, but I'm just physically my butt's been kicked. But that's a good thing, though. And so don't anybody cry for me, Argentina. I mean it seriously. I'm so glad and happy this happened. And then I guess just the other thing, though, following the episode with Clint, we might have, it depends on Melanie. But then mid-October, I'll have Chappie and Tom back on. And this VA thing ain't over for me. I'm here to tell you that's a hill I'm putting my flag on. And it just keeps getting worse and worse and worse. So, yeah, I think that's it for tonight, boys and girls. As always, if you got questions or comments, reach out anytime. I'll do the best I can to help you out. Until then, keep thinking. I can't raise my hands very well, so I'm not going to do the knife edge. Gene, get it ready. Keep thinking, keep moving, never quit. All right, everybody, be good. We'll talk to you next week. Woo! Ooh, that hurt right there. That hurt. All right, everybody, see you later. Bye.